Ladies and gentlemen, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. Right now across the board here in Warzone, there are a few standouts in basically every single weapon category, but today I wanted to go through and break down the absolute best option you could be using from every main weapon category that at least has customizable loadouts. So the best rifle, the best SMG, the best sniper, the best pistol, so on and so forth. In fact, we're starting up here first with our secondaries with the pistols. Not often are you actually going through and using a custom pistol in Warzone, but if you were to go out and actually chase a pistol loadout, the Coda 9 I think is going to be your most reliable bet here. These are not guns you're going to be using in the mid-range really whatsoever. I mean, you can see the damage drop-off is going to be pretty absurd there, but for close range engagements, the Coda 9 is basically a pocket SMG and it can get the job done despite not being in true contention in the close range meta versus the main primaries. Or a secondary, it works. So as far as a setup goes here, first up, because I am using the iron sight on here, I am going for the compensator, just helping out with that vertical recoil control, making life a little bit easier there. I like the long barrel, pushes that effective damage range out to 16 meters, which is surprisingly good for an SMG. Obviously that being our fastest TTK range, pretty important there. I also go for the prestige magazine here. Better damage range, it's a 30 round mag, better movement speed as well, and better recoil control. It hurts the damage a little bit, but it also makes the gun usable in my opinion, very accurate, much more straightforward there. I like the quick draw rear grip, nice and snappy ADS overall, and then recoil springs again just to make things even easier there. Like I said, competitively speaking, this is not going to be outgunning SMGs, but if you're looking for a pistol loadout, this is the go-to. Now getting into the primaries here for the snipers, I think it's another easy answer. It's going to be the Hawker HX. This is the infinite one-shot headshot range sniper, so you can get the easy taps at any distance. It's got insanely good velocity. It's relatively aggressive and like agile for a heavy sniper. It's just doing everything you want a long-range sniper to do extremely efficiently. So here I rock with the default scope. I think the reticle is clean. I'm comfortable with it there, so I don't have to burn an attachment on that. Monolithic suppressor, really all I care about here is the better velocity, then obviously staying off the radar, because I am using the damage barrel, which gives us that infinite one-shot headshot range, so damage range no longer matters on this gun. I do go for the quick draw rear grip, a faster ADS, and I actually stack that with the 1 milliwatt laser for an even faster ADS. Heavy snipers are usually like in the 600 millisecond ADS time. This is 545. That's pretty good all things considered. Then lastly, just stacking up on that velocity stat as well. This plus monolithic gives us a 1291, which is really solid. Like I said, that bullet drop and that bullet lead is going to be very, very predictable there. So you'll be able to easily get those one-shot headshots or those cleanup kills, then move on to the next set of knocks on knocks on knocks. This thing is incredibly satisfying to use and easily the #1 sniper. Now for marksman rifles, admittedly most of them pretty mediocre. The Swordfish I think is going to be the main standout here. They've actually buffed this thing a little bit over the course of the past few updates, so it definitely is still I think a little underwhelming versus some other categories. But if you're a fan of burst weapons, I mean this thing's pretty easy to use, and like I said, it keeps getting better with the past few updates, which is always nice to see here too. A little bit of a burst delay that you definitely have to get used to though, so there's a bit of a learning curve with this one. So here the optic really is going to be a matter of preference. If you like the hover point elo, you can go ahead and rock that. I really like the lethal tools elo. A 2 times or a 3 times could also be viable here as well. Monolithic suppressor, better range, better velocity, keeps us off the radar of course. I also go for the velocity barrel on here. 1167 is sufficient for mid to long range gunfights for sure. I am using the ADS movement stock for the better strafe. I love when I can put this on a gun and it feels more aggressive there. I also have the pentaburst prestige attachment on here. Makes it a 5-round burst, makes that TTK a little bit more competitive. You also end up getting a faster fire rate with this as well, so that's certainly nice to see. Magazine capacity kind of functions as an extended mag there with a 60 rounder on there too, so definitely is a consistent, relatively reliable marksman here, and definitely the best in this category hands down. And by the way, as we are going through all the weapons, all the setups here today, if you guys enjoy the video, you find this information helpful, do me a favor, drop a like. It's always seriously appreciated, and if you're new to the channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button as well. Next up here for the LMGs, this again is another obvious answer for me. The MK78. This thing is a low recoil and it is insanely powerful. One of the best mid to long range TTKs in the entire game. Usually you're not getting insanely fast TTK and super low recoil in one. With this, you are. So here, first up yet again, lethal tools elo. Hover point's going to slow down your ADS even more, and this is already a pretty slow and heavy LMG, so where I don't have to slow things down, I'd like to not, but rocking lethal tools elo, it's sufficient. It works for me. I like the optic and the reticle there. Monolithic suppressor, better velocity, better range, keeping us off the radar of course. Control barrel on here makes this thing even more of a laser beam, plus we get better velocity. 1283 is more than enough. That hit scan range is going to be phenomenal. I also stack recoil springs on here too, so the accuracy is through the roof on this thing. It is straightforward as can be, and it's got the insane damage to back it up. And then because it's a slow LMG, I like to speed it up a little bit here with the movement stock, better ADS, better strafe speed, adds in some mobility to it. It's still going to be slow and heavy, but it's not as bad as it is without any attachments on there, of course. This thing is just insane for the long range. Now for shotguns, I'm not gonna lie, this entire weapon category is largely underwhelming. There's just not really any strong shotguns in the game right now. If I were to choose one though, I'd probably default to the Riveter. This thing with the incendiary ammo, I mean, you can see it's not even gonna do damage on the dummy because that's out of its range. But if you're closer than you are to the dummy, the 10-meter range here, it's going to be obnoxious for one because we've got that incendiary ammo on there. But in general here, if you're barrel stuffing with this thing, it can get kills relatively quickly. Better than other shotguns, that's for sure. It's still not going to be anything that crazy, but it's certainly the standout in the category for now. So here I'm largely focused on mobility and then damage range. That's why I go for the flash twist 90 muzzle on here. This actually pushes out the damage range some. You could go for something like if you're looking for a tighter pellet spread or better tack stance, if you're trying to use it there, or exclusively hip firing, you could go for a different choke to help out there. That'd be viable. But if you want to focus on some range, give yourself more of a chance, I'd go for the flash twist 90. I also go for the long barrel for that exact same reason with the better range there. The X10 rear grip is better for sprint to fire and tack stance spread, so if you're using it like that, that would work. You could also switch this out though for a stock like the buffer tube is going to help out a ton with mobility, but it's going to hurt your control a lot. The flinch resistance can be a little bit interesting if you're ADSing, so there's some cons with this one for sure, but maybe something to look out for there. You could also switch this out for an extended mag if you just wanted to spray and pray. I do think the Razorhawk laser sight is a must-have, obviously helping out with your tack stance spread. The general mobility is really, really good as well there. And then the incendiary ammo is really what's going to make this thing worthwhile if you're looking to use a shotgun in the first place. So a bit of an interesting setup here, and still, by all means, not a crazy great close range option, but for the best shotgun, this is where I'd look. Now, there's a lot of good SMGs in this game right now. The Carbon is incredible. The Razor is really, really good. I think the best SMG, though, as it stands right now, is going to be the Ryden 45K. It's TTK when you're landing upper body shots, which is very easy to do, is best in class. This also is extremely straightforward in terms of its recoil control. It's very agile as well. It's just checking all the right boxes. So here, I'm rocking Lethal Tools Elo. I really don't like the iron sights here. They're a little bit too bulky for my liking. Compensator for better vertical control, making life easier. Then I use the max horizontal control underbarrel as well. So this pattern is going to be extremely predictable. You can land shots easily and achieve that fast TTK. I got the long barrel on here, pushing that effective damage range out to 15 meters. Then I also go for extended mag 2. A 50 rounder is going to be a nice safety net with a 923 RPM on there. All around though, I mean, this is just an SMG that's perfect for a run and gun play style. It's going to be aggressive and absolutely shred up close. And then lastly, for the assault rifles, I gotta go the Peacekeeper. They did slightly nerf the benefits of some of the attachments on this as of late, but this thing is still a laser beam, one of the easiest and most straightforward rifles in the game, and it's got a competitive TTK everywhere, which means when you factor in accuracy, the shots you might be missing with an EGERT or an AK, this is gonna be the most dependable option, while also still being incredibly aggressive and competitive throughout. Now, you could build this as sniper support, as a more run and gun style rifle. I like it for the mid to long range with this build here. Hover point, ELO, recoil stabilization, hurts the ADS a little bit, but I mean, I just saw this thing's a laser beam. I think it's worth it there. Monolithic suppressor, range, velocity, keeping us off the radar. The control barrel, factoring into the laser beam effect that this gun has, plus the better velocity. 1163 is going to be sufficient for the long range there. Extended mag 1 or extended mag 2 is going to work just fine here. And then I love the counterforce stock on here too for the better recoil control. When you stack this and you stack the control barrel, I mean, this thing is as easy as it gets. You can pick this thing up and immediately fry if you're fighting at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 plus meters. It's got you covered in terms of ease of use there, while also maintaining a very, very competitive TTK. So in general here, you've got some interesting options across the main weapon categories. That is going to wrap things up. If you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like on it. And if you're new here, hit that subscribe button on your way out. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day. And I'll catch you later. Peace out.